Hello all. Yeah, we're actually going to take this route. Oh wow, well that fat rolls us. Never fear. Can use Soul of a Proud Knight. Actually, we're over by... That'd be 61.4, so we need 62 endurance. Merc has new steering wheel technology. How you doing, by the way, Mario? We actually need 2 more levels worth of let's see. We need just a shade over 12,000. And I'm thinking about what the quickest way to do that is. I want to be able to fat roll, or not fat roll, but half roll with the black shield. Never can push on or pull out wheel to adjust camber. Is that legal? Because from what I know, you're not supposed to be able to do that once you bring the car out for qualifying. Ooh. So, it might be legal to have the wheel, but not legal to use it. Because if they actually use the wheel, it's a very obvious violation of Part Ferme after qualifying. But I do know that it's pretty clearly spelled out that you cannot change camber after the car goes out for qualifying. Alright, oh, okay. Video of Hamilton using it during testing. Oh, there goes the dragon. Um, we can't actually rest at the bonfire. That has me a little worried. Because usually that's a precursor to some kind of invasion. Oh, they've canceled the race? I think they'll remove that track from the 20... I wouldn't... I couldn't see how they would... I wouldn't see how they'd be able to put it in the game now as part of the championship season. And no, I haven't played the game in a while. That game upsets me a great deal. F1 2019. Calendar has been adjusted. So does that make it a 20-round season again? I suppose the other thing I could do is feed these things to France when we get him, but... Yeah, building up to the Black Knight Shield, that was my main goal here. And then we're just going to go and... Oh, I don't want to kick you. Yeah, I like the stability of this key, or of this shield, not key. What am I on? Destruction Derby. Oh yeah, it was one of my favorite. Destruction Derby was one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games. Okay. So we have a connection here to the Undead Berg. So we can shortcut straight from Berg to Parish now. How cool is that? The dog jumped into the fire. There's... Yeah, there's an ambush back here that we need to... be careful of... Oh boy. Oh, what a stupid way to die. That was such a dumb way to die. Yeah, I remember the days of Destruction Derby. Oh, great. Ah, please don't burn me. I actually should probably consider tagging the Berg bonfire before we proceed into this level. It's a little bit less messy. Whoop. Classic drive backwards trick to survive longest. Yeah. Give me my bonfire. Alright. And then we're just like, you guys we don't care about. We'll just kill you. And he just followed me from God knows where. Yeah, the old, his radiator's blown. That's what happens when you end up in a build that you haven't leveled HP up in. Very fragile and death vulnerable. Oh man. I'm gonna need you to fall. This part isn't quite as hard as it looks. You just have to not... You have to block their hits and then kill them. Twin humanities. And usually it's a female corpse that holds those. We have... Oh. There... You do this normally, 3 doors open and out come these guys. And we can one-shot kill him anyway, so... But yeah, in Mailbreaker, do we have one of those already? No. Thrust weapon, thrusting sword, standard small thrusting sword, unsharpened but pointed solid. The pointed solid shaft can pierce through armor. It can be thrust using the weight of one's body and is very effective for critical attacks. Yeah, the basic just say you come down here and then those guys come and attack you from behind, and before you know it, you're just dealing with three thieves basically. Yep, there's another ambush. Three for one. That's so cool. And yeah. Thieves mask, black leather armor, gauntlets, boots, and thief mask. And from what I remember, this actually is pretty lightweight. And has pretty good poison protection. What the heck am I doing? Here, black leather armor. So it's pretty similar in the class of leather armor, but lighter. Target shield. Yeah, just checking all the rooms. You got an item in you. I know you do. Large soul of a lost undead. So actually we have Mask of Sinners, they hide their faces, stifle their vices, and hide in the shadows. It does not provide much in the way of defense. Smooth black leather, extremely quiet, a good thing for those who hide in the shadows. The leather itself is thick, offering a decent level of protection. And for different types of armor, the descriptions usually repeat themselves. I actually missed. There's a sorcerer. Somewhere here, I forgot to
Somebody, please let me out of here. Somebody, anybody, help me. Unlock the door. Damn, I'm finished. How did this ever happen?
Residence key unlocks that. Ooh. Yep, easy to miss item. Sorcerer gear and catalyst.
Brilliant. You opened the door for me. Thank you. I'm saved. I thought I might never escape. I am Griggs of Vinheim, a sorcerer of the school. I am much obliged for your assistance. Thanks to you, I may now resume my travels. Oh, hello. I'm fine. I will rest a while, then return to Firelink Shrine. I have my sorcery.
Dialogue triggers.
And I will be more cautious next time. Besides, I have an important task at hand. Oh, hello. I'm fine. I have my... Besides, I have an...
Okay. So we have the sorcery gear, hat worn by proper sorcerers who studied at Vinheim Dragon School. The majority take pride in having studied at the academy and look down on breaking the formal dress code established for sorcerers. Did you ever play the Resident Evil 2 remake? No. I barely played the original game. The original game, actually. I could never really figure out what I was supposed to do in those games. Um, there are NPCs to summon here from... One thing here, if you're a first-time player, off to the left here, there's a big-time ambush. Very easy to catch, get caught out on. Any interest in streaming that series? Isn't the original Resident Evil really hard and confusing to figure out? Funny thing is, I've never really played any of the games, but I watched the first film adaptation, the first and second, I think, that they made it on that. Go figure. Oh, new NPC.
You still have your senses about you. Then why won't you buy some of my moss? I need your souls.
Red moss clump reduces bleeding buildup. Bleeding builds when attacked by sharp blades and spikes. Once triggered, causes severe damage. Use this moss clump before it reaches this point. Poison builds up in the body, and when it breaks out, it causes gradual damage over a period of time. Poison can be exasperating, so be certain to carry the needed quantity of these moss clumps when dusted for the inflicted area. Potently medicinal moss clump with a flower. Reduces poison and toxin, restores status. Toxin is a more vicious form of poison which quickly leads to death. Moss clumps without a flower are useless against toxin. And a lack of these moss clumps could lead to an early demise. I didn't like the movies, they were terrible. Throwing knives work on the same concept as throwing knives, except that they're poisoned and they'll take poison damage. Dung pie, atrocious fecal waste material. Throw at enemy to build up toxins. It also builds up your toxicity. Now, the stench makes it difficult to carry on one's person. Turning an enemy toxic inflicts high damage over a period of time. Charcoal pine resin. Black charcoal like pine resin applies fire to right-handed weapon. Effective weapon inflicts fire damage for a short time, particularly effective against corporeal creatures and undead who have an instinctual fear of fire. Rotten pine resin. Poison buildup. Prism stone. Warm pebble emitting a beautiful phasing aura of 7 colors with a very rare 8th. Huh. The rainbow stone does nothing special but can serve as a path marker and can be dropped off the cliff to judge height by the sound of its descent. If a loud noise is heard upon landing, then a fall off the ledge is surely lethal. You can figure out if you can actually drop somewhere Purging Stone, ash-colored stone encasing a skull, secret treasure of Arstor, the Earl of Kirene. Reduces curse buildup and breaks curse. Humans are helpless against curses and can redirect their influence. The Purging Stone does not dispel curses, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person or some other being. And then you have fire arrows with flames tips, point dipped in poison, standard arrows, large. Now, she has a lot of interesting stuff. And as far as the Resident Evil movies go, I found the first one decent, and then I kind of went into ridiculousness from there.
This is a wonderful place, don't you think? We have water, moss, moisture, these nice iron bars. I like it here, I really do. Nothing good ever happened to me in life, but now that I'm undead, I've never been happier. You've come to this land at a bad time. There are nothing but hollows in these parts, save for me, of course.
And of course, she's hollow, but not hollowed. Hollow, but not hollow.
Go down along the side to reach the depths of the Undead Berg. Only unkempt crooks and liars to be found there. Hardly a place for a lady like myself. But who knows? Maybe you'd fit right in.
Maybe.
You've come to the depths, you're
Okay.
Drat, what a humdrum lass you are.
I'll be back for some of your stuff. Critically, you can actually open the door from this side. So now we have another shortcut. Bam! Actually, there's a little bit of dialogue here between ourselves and the sorcerer, ourselves and the crestfallen.
Oh, hello. I regret meeting you under such compromising circumstances. At least we both made it back unscathed. Incidentally, would you care to learn any sorceries? You're clearly talented, and besides, I owe you. Of course, we will require some materials, but I'm happy to teach you some elementary spells. Are you interested? Splendid. Very well. I am pleased to have a chance to give something back. Well then, let's get started straight away.
So yeah, he has all kinds of good stuff here. Magic weapon. We can go over the lore of some of this.
Have you heard of Big Hat Logan? Master Logan is a great sorcerer and my teacher. Both of us came to this land as undead. But one day he departed, leaving only a note. I suppose he wished to keep me out of harm's way. But where does that leave me? I have dedicated myself to sorcery, but Master Logan could find no use for me.
I was going to say we'll go over the lore, like when I actually start maybe think about buying some of that stuff.
Yes. The note that Master Logan left. It only said he would travel to Anolondo by way of Sen's fortress. I can only guess that he seeks the regal archives. For Master Logan is a tireless pursuer of wisdom. Wisdom trumps all. Everything else is hogwash. When the curse turned him undead, I'm certain that he only felt it was the perfect chance to visit this land. I only wish that I had his courage. 2 things are required for sorcery. First, you must equip a wand. Second, you must attune a sorcery. Then you will be ready to fire away. Oh, and don't forget to aim. 2 things are... Second, then...
Yeah,
oh,
that just loops.
goodbye then. Do stay safe.
And then we have a little bit more from Mr. Crestfallen.
Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knows? Going hollow could solve quite a bit.
Like being invaded, for example.
What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all. What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it. How did that nutty sorcerer make it back? Unexpected. But I suppose stranger things have happened. You get there's nothing to speak about, really. Oh, actually, something strange did happen. That crow flew off with somebody in its clutches. I think it was a man curled up in a ball. Stranger things have happened, right? No, maybe not. What now? I'm not up for...
So he does hit eventually that you can go up to the undead asylum, and we're actually going to take a brief trip there. I'm just going to show briefly some trades that can be made with Snuggly the Crow. Matt, what are the we can skip the dialogues here and just go straight in. Well, they do come up at us. So I am gonna need to take care of them. Ran out of stamina. Okay.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
So yeah, you can drop a clump, and we just quit the game and come back in, and there will be a new item. But this is a good way to get Titanite relatively early. Twinkling Titanite, specifically.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
So there's one, and then we can drop a purple moss. in the later Dark Souls, they actually make the trades instant, I believe. But in these older games, you had to go through this song and dance. And a blooming is worth 2. And these trades are once per game. So once you do these trades, you can't do them again until the next game cycle, like New Game Plus.
Give me.
But this one, I believe, yeah, it's 2. Okay. Yeah, we've seen that animation more than enough times. So we don't really need to worry about, seeing it again. Whoop. There we go. Getting through that hole, oops, tricky sometimes. Do some repairing. So it can reinforce. Yeah, getting up to +5 is a little bit tougher because you need like 4. But yeah, we'll go into human form. We have a Capra demon to take care of here. Bam. I decided that getting Petrus's miracles isn't necessarily the end all. We just to do the lore the way we want, we can get the miracles much later. It's not a big deal. I think this is one of the only NPCs in the game you can't actually kill. Because when you hit her, she just backs away and you can't get through the bars. But almost every other NPC you can have at. Okay, You're dead? You're dead. Wow, I could have sworn there was a summon sign. Ah, well. We're taking our first crack at Capra. To battle! Oh. Well... well, that's great. I'm mostly annoyed about the humanity we wasted there. For summon signs that don't exist. The loss of souls isn't the end of the world. Eventually, going through here, you'd rack up another 4,000. Where are my rings at the moment? I got a poise ring. That might not. That may not be the way to go. A little extra defense might be all the rage here. Don't really like how that locks. Or actually locked it long before we actually... Really? Got a glug, got a glug! Oh! Dang it. Yeah, this sword is actually... Once you actually deal with the dogs and the small battle area, he goes down pretty easy. So yeah, key to opening the door from the lower Undead Berg to the depths. Those banished from the Undead Berg eke out their existence in the depths, a damp lair with no trace of sunlight. Nearly half of the depths form a perilous flooded labyrinth. Alright, so we have around 11,000 souls now. So yeah, there is some new dialogue here.
By the lords, your face. Your humanity is really slipping, but there are methods. Most fools have more humanity than they know what to do with. Now, who do you imagine will make the best use of it? Our
Yeah, it gives a hint about humanity. I think he might have something to say about
Did you see her?
Rhea, yeah.
Virtuous little maiden, complete with followers in tow. They're probably going straight to pillage graves. I've heard enough about a lady for a lifetime. How did that raggedy old chum end up? You know, the one who idolized some godmother of pyromancy. He left for Blighttown, but never came back. Whereas most flee from sickness, he dives right in. Well, nothing will harm him once he goes hollow.
Alright. The guy doesn't really say anything.
What have we here? You look awfully raggedy. Times are grim. The least you can do is look sharp. Don't you dare meet my lady like that. You might scare her off for good. Oh, I don't suppose we can help, though. We accompany my lady on her righteous mission. It is quite a chore, but I'm stuck with her. And Nico, too. I can't very well abandon them now. Oh, we accompany... It is quite... I can't...
Yeah. Okay, that loops. And we can say hello to Rhea.
You are undead as well.
Trying to get a good shot of...
No time to fraternize. I have my mission and you no doubt have yours. We must not let this curse overcome us.
They don't really show a whole lot of her.
Did I not explain the urgency of our tasks? Or are you so uncouth as to lack such judgment? By the looks of you, I should think not. Did I not explain the urgency of our tasks? Or are you so uncouth as to lack such judgment? By the looks of you, I should think not.
Oh, you don't... We accompany... It is quite... I can't very...
Looping dialogue.
Oh, hello. My guests have finally arrived. I will be departing with them shortly. So, I'm afraid I will be saying goodbye soon. It was a pleasure. Oh, hello. Miracles, I presume? Yes, I know.
Yeah, we're still in the way of what? Sell us miracles, man. The Thurlin Talisman. I guess we get invaded. We can buy force later.
Rhea is the youngest daughter of the good house of Thurland. Those young knights are her old schoolmates, but I'm not sure what to make of them. I'm afraid they may be a bad influence. Rhea is the youngest, those young knights, but I'm not sure. I'm afraid they...
Bad influence,
Come again.
says
The effectiveness
this
of
guy.
the teachings depend upon your faith.
His dialogue changes
it's you.
slightly.
We're to leave momentarily. The catacombs aren't exactly my idea of a good time, but what can one do? I do hope we meet again, rare or not.
Did I not explain the urgency of our tasks? Or are you so uncouth as to lack such judgment? By the looks of you.
Oh, it's with the rare or...
Did I not...
Nico's the only one that says anything a little bit differently.
Oh, miracle. Come again.
Alright, you can go into the catacombs first. Talking to Petrus after talking to all these guys triggers them going off into the catacombs. But there's another character, Patches, and I think if you go into the catacombs before these guys go in, you get a little bit different meeting order on Patches. It doesn't really change the story that much. It's just an encounter with a first encounter with Patches, I think, that you otherwise miss. But yeah, we're gonna bow out here and come back on the other end. We'll do the depths.